Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing another itty bitty knit kit from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are doing another itty bitty knit kit from Five Below, and we're going to be doing a Jackie lantern. This was a viewer request. If you would like to request any videos, comment below. If you don't want to wait for me to find the kit, go ahead and email me a clear image of the instructions, and I will try to help you with that. Alright, so let's get straight into this. This kit has stuffing, knitting needles, plastic needle, felt stickers, there's some pipe cleaners, and a spool of yarn. This was actually made by Bright Stripes. If you go on their website, they do have other kits. I think these itty bitty knit kits are exclusive to Five Below, so they actually don't sell these on their website. So here we have the instructions. We have the pouch and yarn, and then let's open this pouch. We're going to find our knitting needles, stuffing. This is actually felt shoes, plastic needle, felt stickers, pipe cleaner. Here are the other two pipe cleaners. Alright, so since we're not using this as of yet, we're just going to put these back in here so we don't lose them, and also so that they don't get dirty. Alright, so this video, you guys, is a supplement to the instructions. If you would like to make this for yourself, I would highly recommend getting this kit at your local Five Below. If not, check their website, it might still be on there. Alright, so also if you need to speed up or slow down the video, click on the gear button in the corner there. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me to talk, you can lower the volume on your device and click on the CC closed caption button. So, what I like about these instructions, they give you illustrations along with the text to teach you how to do what you need to do in this kit. They also provide for you their ruler, so you don't have to go out and get one yourself. So, that's that. Now, when you look at your spool here, you will find one end, that's the outside end, but what I like to do is grab the yarn from the inside so that it doesn't roll around. So grab a piece here. You might pull out a big chunk, a small chunk, you might get it right there, like the last video, just hanging out there. But just grab that out so that you can just take a light weight and press it down on the spool, so when you grab your yarn, it doesn't roll around. Alright. So let's get into this. Just by looking at this needle here, I do have a little bit of a plastic piece from when they injected their mold to make this. This could snag your yarn, believe it or not, even though it's all the way up there. So what I'm going to do is take a file, and I'm just going to file this down smooth. And it's definitely a good thing to practice, because you'll definitely appreciate how it won't snag. So if you ever find any imperfections in the needle, I would go ahead and fix it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're going to start right away here. I'm going to go grab, there's a measurement that the instruction gives you for the tail, so I'm just going to measure this now and then show you what to do next. right? And I am doing this off camera because I don't want, you know, to fully show the instructions. Okay, so once we have this, we have the tail, and that's the length of the length that they ask you to measure out before we start. So I'm pinching it at that mark. I'm going to put the tail down off my table, and this part here is the feeder yarn. This is going to go up and away so we don't confuse the two. From here, what we're going to do is keep this pinch very tight. We're going to take our middle finger and ring finger, and you're going to hold this apart like this. Take 2 fingers, we're going to push up, keep this a little loose, this a little tight, push up with your fingers here. We're going to turn down and create this loop. I'm going to take my index and middle finger, and we're just going to pull that feeder yarn through the loop. So from here we have a gigantic knot. What I'm going to do is pull this top part here and push that knot towards the left thumb. You want to keep pulling until that knot is as close as you can get to your thumb, and this is probably the longest that it's been away from my thumb when I've been doing these videos, but that's okay. If you're off by a little, it's not going to be a huge, you know, deal. But from here, you can just make this knot a little bit more snug by pulling on the tail. It's going to be like a micro give, you know, so pull it that much, not too tight. Then we're going to grab the knot here, and now we have this huge loop. We're just going to pull on the feeder yarn to make it more manageable. We have to be able to put our needles inside. So we have this. Now I can stick my needle in there, and we can move on to the next parts. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about this kit. All these kits are driven by one stitch, one type of stitch actually, called the knit stitch. So the knit stitch is one of the basic stitches that you can do when knitting. Once you learn the knit stitch, you can use it for almost anything. Pot holders, scarves, blankets, what have you. So after I teach you how to do this, you'll be able to just come up with your own projects. It's so much fun. Alright, so before we can do this project, we have to cast on the number of stitches that it asks you to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick our other needle in here. So now we have both needles in here. I'm going to gather up a little bit of yarn. Actually ended up grabbing a decent amount of yarn. Alright, the knit stitch. So when you do a knit stitch, there's a few fundamentals that you need to know. So you want to cross your knitting needles. So this is for righty. If you're doing a knit stitch in righty, you want to keep your right needle in the back, left needle on the top. Okay, now the feeder yarn, if you're doing a knit stitch, you don't want the feeder yarn to be in the front. You want to move it towards the back like that. So, alright. Now, when we yarn over to start our knit stitches, we are going to take our feeder yarn and we're going to go back to forward and down around the right needle. Okay, so let's do this again. Alright, we're going to go back to front around the right needle and down. You're going to feel or hear it snap because you want these needles are touching, right? You always want to keep them touching so you don't lose your yarn. So also when you're having like a ton of stitches already on here, You don't want to lose them, so you always want to remain in contact with your needles. Okay, so we did back to front and down around the right needle. Now from here, we're going to slide the left needle down the right and the back, and that's going to push the feeder yarn through this loop. So slide your left needle down the right needle and back. That point right there is going to push that feeder yarn through the loop just like this. And now it's created a new stitch. Now when we're casting on, you have to move your new stitches over to your left. So we're going to take our left needle, we're going to pick up this new stitch like this, and then we're just going to pull it off the right needle. So now you have 2 stitches on here. Alright, so let's do this again. Stick your needle into the new stitch. You want to get into your knitting stance, your knit stitch stance, which is Xing your needles, right needle in the back, left needle in the front. We have our feeder yarn in the back, and we're going to go back to forward around the right needle, and we're going to go down. You're going to feel or hear it snap. Okay, because you are always maintaining contact with your needles. And then we're going to slide the left needle down the right needle and back, and it's going to push that feeder yarn through the loop like that, creating a new stitch. So now to cast on, we have to move this stitch here over to the left needle. So take your left needle, pick up that stitch, and remove it off the right needle. So now you have 3 stitches on your left needle. Okay, let's do this one more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the new stitch. Get into your knit stitch stance with the X. You want the right needle in the back, left needle in the front, feeder yarn in the back. We're going to go back to forward and down. You're going to feel or hear it snap because we're maintaining contact with our needles. Then we're going to slide the left needle down the right needle and back, and this is going to push the feeder yarn through that loop, creating a new stitch. And then we're going to pick up that new stitch with our left needle off our right needle. So we have 4 stitches on our left needle. Alright, so now what we have to do is complete the number of stitches, and then I'll come back in and I'll help you guys with the next steps. I wanted to take this opportunity to you guys to share with you a special giveaway that I'm hosting on my original channel. So my original channel is just nails, but I accidentally ended up doing crocheting, trying to help someone out, and then it just evolved over time. So this channel is my pilot to kind of separate the two. I still post the same videos on both channels until this one gets just a little bigger. But on my original channel, I am hosting a special giveaway, and I wanted to share it with you guys because part of the giveaway is a 1-hour StreamYard session where you can share a screen like this with your project via telephone, so you don't have to face it anywhere but where you want to show your project, and I can help walk through step by step if you're having any issues with it. And then also, if that's something you don't need help with and you're thinking about starting a channel or are needing help with your channel, you can use that 1-hour StreamYard meeting to talk about that. Along with the winning, you're going to be getting some goodies as well as a gift card. So in my special giveaway, you have to be publicly subscribed to the channel that I put in the description box. And then every Tuesday for the remaining 18 weeks of the NFL season, I'll be posting a video every Tuesday, and you have to vote on which teams are going to win and lose. I pick 2 teams to share each week. So those 2 teams, you either say yes, they're going to win, no, they're going to lose. I'll let you know when they're playing. The voting ends Wednesday, end of Wednesday Eastern time, so you have 2 days to vote. And then after that game is played, whether it's a Thursday, a Saturday, a Sunday, or a Monday, depending on the schedule, I will end up posting the standings every week, so you know where you are in this giveaway. Now we're only going into week 6, so there is plenty of room to catch up and take it all. So I definitely encourage you guys to hop on over there and enter into my giveaway. If whoever has the most correct guesses will win the giveaway. If there's a tie, I'm going to put names into a wheel and spin that. So definitely check that out. But I really wanted to share that with you, even though it is a separate channel, because I do get a lot of questions sometimes about you know, figuring stuff out in a project, and it's easier to understand all your questions and understand my answers if you're in a one-on-one meeting rather than text, you know. Alright, after you've made your stitches, you always want to go back and just double check to make sure that you have the right counts. And it's good to do that after every row, really, because you want to make sure that you catch your problem before it becomes too far deep into your project and you end up having to unravel the whole thing. Alright, you guys, so next steps. We've finished our row here, and I just wanted you to make sure that after you get your count before you start your new row, you want to make sure that your project grows downward. So sometimes when we're handling the needles, or when we disappear and come back and just store it somewhere, sometimes your stitching will get a little wonky. So you want to make sure you straighten it out, because I've accidentally knitted across a kink like that, and then it's stuck there unless you unravel the whole thing. So just make sure that everything is nice and straight and always down from your needle. Alright, so for the next steps here, we are going to do our first row here. So let me show you how to do that. It's pretty much the same steps that we've been doing, except we're not going to be casting on to the left needle anymore. So what you want to do is stick your needle into this first loop here, this first stitch, and you want to get into your knitting stitch stance or position. Then we're going to take our feeder yarn and we're going to go back to forward around the right needle and down. You're going to hear or feel it snap. Always keep the needles touching. We're going to slide down the right needle and back, forcing that needle to pull the feeder yarn through that loop like this, creating a new stitch. So again, we are no longer casting on and putting the new stitch onto the left. What we're going to do is lose the stitch on the left. So for this instruction specifically, whatever number of stitches you have on the left, you want to end up with them on the right, the exact same count. So because we created one on the right, we have to lose one on the left, and that's why we remove that loop. So let me show you again how to do this. Stick your needle into the next stitch here, get into your knit position, and then we're going to take our feeder yarn and go back to forward and down. You're going to feel or hear it snap. We're going to slide the left needle down the right needle and back, pushing that feeder yarn through the loop like this. Then because we gained a stitch here, we're going to lose a stitch on the left. So just carefully take that stitch off your left needle. Alright, let's do this one more time with you guys. Stick your needle into the next stitch here. Get into your knit stitch position. We're going to take our feeder yarn back to front and down around the right needle. You're going to feel or hear it snap. We're going to slide the left needle down the right and back, pushing that feeder yarn through the loop, creating a new stitch. And because we create a new stitch, we're going to lose one on the left. So carefully remove that stitch off the left needle. Alright, so you should have 3 stitches on your right and the remaining stitches on your left. Go ahead and repeat this as many times as you feel till you get comfortable. But what I'm going to do is continue all the way down, and then when we get to the end, I'm going to show you what to do next. So in case you were wondering if you have any other kits in mind for me to do, go and check out my unboxing video that I did. I showed all the knit kits that I have and crochet kits, if you're interested, that I'm going to be doing all at some point. So don't worry about that. If you don't see what you have on my unboxing video, then I would recommend again commenting below, requesting that video. If not, if you don't want to wait for me to find the kit, because these kits are hard to find in my area, I would go and take a clear image of the instructions and send it to me via email. My information is on my channel. Right, and so far this is actually the most number of stitches I've done out of these knit kits. So you're going to see a lot of bunching here, but just be careful not to lose any stitches. Alright, so I completed all the stitches off my left needle, and now it's empty. So if you're ready, if you remove all the stitches off your left needle and they're all on the right, that means you've completed the row. Now we got to start a new row. Well, how do you do that? Because you need stitches on the left to move to the right. Well, that's really simple. What we're going to do is take your project and you're going to literally just flip it. So you flipped it over. You want to make sure that your feeder yarn is down and back. You don't want to pull it up and back, because you're going to create something that looks like 2 stitches, but it's not. It's just the one. And to make sure, you can always again make sure your project is all in line, growing down. So you'll notice if you have this up here, it's going to start twisting up, which is another reason why we want to keep our project down. Bring it back down. You can now line it up with everything here. Alright, so just make sure you always fix that. Alright, so from here, all you do is again stick your needle into the first stitch and you do your knit stitch off the left needle onto the right. So I'm going to do this in silence. Again, you can always rewind the video and play it back as many times as you get comfortable with this, but I guarantee you by the end of this project, you'll be a lot more comfortable doing the knit stitch, and like I said, you can take that to make anything else in any other color and any type of texture yarn that you find at a hobby store. I love to make scarves. It is getting colder, so you can practice your knit stitch doing that, and then eventually make the scarf that you really like. Alright, so let me come back and do this in silence. Alright, so in the instructional booklet, it tells you how long you need to make your rectangle. So they give you two ways of measurement. They give you the number of rows, and then they give you the measurement for the ruler that they provide you. Now, that number of rows is approximate because as a beginner, you're going to have different kinds of stitching. And also, depending on the person, you can have bigger rows, smaller rows. So the best bet is to just make sure that it measures the dimension that it gives you in the instructional booklet. Okay, so now when you've reached that height, we're going to cast off our stitches, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So what you have to do is knit 2 stitches. So go ahead and knit 2 stitches. And once you've done that, you want to take your left needle and pick up the first stitch here. We're going to leapfrog it over the second stitch, off the right needle. You want to hold this stitch down so you don't lose it, but pull this one off the right needle and then pull it off the left needle. So we just lost a stitch, but that's okay because that's what we're doing. So to do that again, you have to knit another stitch. So go ahead and do 1 knit stitch so that you have 2 stitches on your right needle again. So we're going to pick up this stitch and leapfrog it over this one. We're going to remove it off the right needle, hold this stitch back, and then pull it off the left needle. So we lost another stitch. We have one here. To do that again, we're going to knit 1 more stitch with you guys. So we have 2 stitches on our right needle. Again, we're going to pick up this stitch here and leapfrog it over this one. And we're going to pull it off the right needle, hold down that stitch here, off the right, and then off the left. So you're back to 1. Now you just keep repeating this cast off until you get to the very end and you have no more stitches on the left needle. You'll have 1 left here, and I'll show you how to deal with that. But let's continue forward and do the rest of this. You can rewind the video as many times to look this over and try it until you get comfortable with it. But I'm just going to move on here. Okay, so we removed all the stitches off our left needle. We have one left on our right. What we're going to do is cut about 1 inch or so, and then we're going to yarn over with this feeder yarn here, and you can hold it back with your right hand. I'm going to lift up this stitch and leapfrog it over this yarn over, and same thing, we're going to pull it off the right needle, off the left needle. So then we have this little bit left. I'm just going to take my right needle now and pull that all the way out, set this down, then we're going to tighten this up, and then you can take your plastic needle and weave that in and out of the side here. But I actually might be able to tuck this in, so let's put these needles aside now. We're gonna go ahead and sew this all together. Let me get the other pieces that I need here. Alright, I'm just gonna put this yarn away. This is how much yarn I have left. It's a pretty decent amount, so I'm happy about that. Oh, we're gonna have to use it to sew later. Let me just put this stuff later. Alright. Okay, we're gonna thread up this piece. Alright, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna make like a little tube, I guess, and I just want to see where the pretty side should be. Hold on a sec. Alright, so I'm going to put the prettier side to be on the outside, so you can kind of tell which side is the right side by just checking this out here. Everything looks flat and pretty much the same. If you flip it over, there's that little ring here at the edge. So we're going to put the good side on the outside, and you can tuck this excess piece on the inside because we're going to hide that, and then we're just going to sew these two edges together. Okay, once we got the side down, we're gonna have to sew around the bottom edge here. So I'm just going to go in and out of the stitching like this. Okay, and once we get to the other side, then we're supposed to pull this closed. Well, don't accidentally pull the edge. We're just pulling the end of the tube. And it says after you do that, to secure a knot. Alright, so now I just have to snake this up to the other side because we have to do the same thing to the other side. What I don't like about this is that it is leaving a little hole. So to get up here, I'm just going to sneak a little bit and try to just sew this together. So in the last video with Baby Ghosty, it was a similar type technique that they wanted you to do, or instruction, not even technique, and I didn't like that at all. It leaves a gap. I think I had to sew it also, but I just don't understand, you know, like there's got to be a better way to do this sort of thing than just bunch it together. I don't know. But alright, so now that I'm here, I'm just gonna go back up this end here, and I'm just gonna go in and out of the rows. And I don't know why they don't have you turn this inside out. But anyway, so we're gonna do a gather stitch for this end of the tube. So before we pull this, we have to put our stuffing in here. So let's do that. I think this is not enough stuffing. Alright. So now that you have your stuffing in there, we're just going to pull this closed. And again, don't try to pull the edge here, just pull what's around the tube. And then just to secure it, I'm going to just go in and sew this even more because it leaves a hole. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to find my moment to tie a knot. So you can take this opportunity to spread evenly the stuffing. It looks a little sad at the moment, but hopefully this will fix it. So now what we have to do is thread outside and inside of the pumpkin. Okay, so what we're going to do is it's coming from this underside. We're just going to stretch over to the other center of this side and put your needle straight down and have it come out through the other center. Right, so here's one, and you want to pull it just a little bit to make it dimple like this. Now we're gonna do this. Let me see. We have to make 6 segments. So just do it again on the other side. So it's like we're cutting a pie. And again, pull it just enough to make it dimple. And then we're going to, I hope I have enough yarn here. Do this a few more times. And I might actually need to tie more yarn, so such is life. Oh, I didn't even have to do that. I don't know why I did that. Alright. So I'm just going to tie these 2 pieces together. Okay, so so I made 3 segments on this side, and then I just have to do, it's not going through. Okay. Then we just have to do the same thing on the other side, try to make it even at the other side. This is looking like a sad pumpkin, to be honest. think I need more stuffing, so, and if I need more stuffing, you probably need more stuffing too. But I'm gonna try to fluff this up as best I can. Okay, hot mess. All right. Then I'm gonna go tie a knot. Now let's okay, after you tie your knot, I'm going to just go in one end, come out the other. Random spots. Cut this flush. And then you can just squish this. Okay, so it's looking pretty sad at the moment. Like I said, I think you really need like another, more stuffing. It's not quite filling out. Okay. At any rate, let's see now. Bend one end. Alright, so I'm gonna take this and we're just gonna bend it in half and twist. And you want to twist it all the way to the end here. Then I'm gonna stick this down into our pumpkin. Okay, want to make sure it gets stuck in there. All right. So now you just need a pencil. I'm going to take one end here and we're just going to start wrapping it around the pencil. Then we're going to take the other end and we're just going to twist it around the stem. Okay, and then with the rest of it, it's curled. You can kind of bend and twist it where you want it to be. So get that part. Then we're going to take this part here. These are going to be the feet. I want to find like the best front looking side possible. So I guess let's do this right here. So I'm going to stick my feet just at the bottom here, coming through one end, and you can use the segments to kind of navigate and make it look even. Then I'm just gonna have this pipe cleaner come out the other end. Right, and you want to try to make it, again, even. Okay, so now we have to put our feet together. There's two little perforated lines. I don't know if you can see that, but we're gonna slip this through those perforated holes, and then I'm gonna just close it in to keep these feet in there. Okay. Then we're going to do the other one. Okay. Then the last part is to put on the face. So we have the mouth here. All right. Find your center of this segment here. I'm gonna have to try to push it down so that the sticky touches as much of the surface as possible, and hold it down for a few seconds just to make sure you get a nice stick. Then we're going to do the eyes. Same thing, hold it down for a few seconds. We're going to do the other one. Alright, now that we have this done, you can fix anything you need to fix to make it look nicer. Just going to bend this down because I think it's a little too long. Okay. So here is my jack-o'-lantern, you guys. Comment below, let me know how it went. This wasn't too bad, but I feel like you need more stuffing. So if I make this again, I'm just gonna use my own stuffing, and I'll definitely have more than enough. But there you have it. So cute. At any rate, alright, let me know what you guys think. So again, I wanted to share my special giveaway with you guys. I'll leave a link from my original channel in the description box below. Again, public subscription. It's a 18-week giveaway for the NFL season. Every Tuesday I post a video, and you vote on 2 teams that I'll show, and you guess whether they're gonna win or lose. And then I'll close the voting the end of Wednesday night Eastern time. And then I'll show the standings every week after the game has been played, so you know where you are. Again, there's about 12 more weeks left after this week. So it's anybody's game. Whoever makes the most correct guesses will win. If there's a tie, I will put all the names on the wheel, and there's going to be 2 winners, 1 nail winner and 1 non-nail winner, they're going to be getting goodies, a gift card, and an hour meeting with me to go over any projects that you're stuck with, or if you want to learn how to crochet or knit, or if you need to get some advice if you're planning on starting a channel or need help with your current channel. But yeah, that's it. And then also, if you have a kit that you want me to do, leave a comment below. If you don't want to wait for me to find that kit, go ahead and send me clear instructions and send them to me via email. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.